Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about smart audio glasses like the one that I'm wearing right now. This is the Razer Anzu and I am loving it. I'm loving the experience, and smart glasses lately have been getting quite a bit of attention. I'm guessing because of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. Those come with a camera which allows for input into the camera to be read and processed through artificial intelligence to provide information such as what am I looking at. However, I do feel that glasses with cameras can seem a little bit intrusive, but they are fantastic for capturing ad hoc shots. I can imagine if I'm driving my vehicle and there was something interesting that was happening, and there's no way that I can grab another camera. I could just activate my camera. But I also have a dash cam which has questionable quality when you're comparing that with an action camera. That said, the input footage for the current models of smart glasses is still not comparable with action cameras like the DJI Action or the GoPro Hero, for example. So those are still my go-to cameras for capturing usable footage. So the advantage of a pair of glasses like this is that I've walked around at work for a few days wearing these glasses and no one had any idea I was wearing smart glasses. Although these are a slightly more goofy looking pair than they might have been used to seeing me wearing. I'm also going to compare this pair of smart glasses with another pair which is advertised as being associated in some way with Lenovo, but I'm not very sure if it is the case. And these are the Lenovo Lecoos. And here they are. I'm wearing them right now. These are a slightly different design than the Razers that I bought. The Razers that I bought, they come in different shapes. They come in this shape as well as the round shape. For the Lenovo, I don't have this option, but what's really interesting about this pair compared to this is that this is quite expensive. The Razer Anzus retailed at about $200 when they were first released, but I got mine for $50 US. And this pair that I got this pair for $5 US, legit. Okay, I got it for $5 US because someone bought it, didn't use it, had planned to put prescription lenses on it, but eventually did not. So I got it from this person for $5 US. But you can also get it at retail for I think $15 US. So this pair is really cheap. So how do they compare and stack up with the Razer Anzus? So far, I can say that the low frequency response on the Razer Anzus are definitely much better. It's a much more reliable brand. Razer is a brand that is recognized for gaming. Lenovo obviously for laptops, if it is true that it is associated with Lenovo at all. But never mind, as a consumer I don't really care, as long as they work great. So the Lenovo Lecoos have a slightly reduced low frequency response, but they're still surprisingly good. If you're an audiophile, you will be disappointed at the sound. That's not what you're getting these spectacles for. You're getting these spectacles because it's hardly noticeable that you're wearing earphones. I can show up to a meeting like this and it will be fine, but if I showed up to a meeting with a pair of bone or air conducting headphones, it'll be a little bit more obvious, right? That said, because they're air conducting, actually I can have multiple devices connected to my ears. This sounds a little bit ridiculous, but have a look at this particular configuration. How nerdy can you get, right? I also got these from an online store. So now I've got 3 devices connected to my ears. If I remove the air conducting, or this looks like bone conducting headphones, but they're actually air conducting headphones, a more modern design and more modern take to this particular headphone design. Then this is legitimately how I would comfortably connect myself to smart devices, such as my Lecoos connecting to my mobile phone, and these Razer XF28 are connected to my tablet. So I don't have to switch around the devices. I can just connect them like this because they're air conducting and I can still listen to my environment. I can still have conversations with people. So let's put this aside. It's just way too nerdy for the time being. I say that, but I'm using it regularly like that, in that configuration. I got the Razers because when I checked out the product, I noticed that the Razer comes with an app which allows me to customize the buttons to be mapped to different functions. And although that is true, it is actually a very, very limited amount of functions that's accessible to me. I'll show you what I mean. You see, it's actually quite limited. It's not as if I can change one button press or single button press or double tap to do things like call out Outlook or to start a web browser or to call out Google Assistant versus perhaps Samsung's Bixby or iPhone's Siri. It's not as if I can make those changes. You can only choose single press to maybe play, stop, forward a track, go backwards a track, activate your default assistant, and to switch to game mode, pick up a phone call, drop a phone call, but you can't change any of these functions, surprisingly, to control volume, for example. That isn't necessarily a deal breaker because I can always tell Google to raise the volume by 1 notch, raise the volume by 2 notches, drop the volume by 3 notches. So I can still use voice assistant to control my volume, which I typically tend to do. So all that's fine, you know, the glasses made of good quality material. I really like the design. I think it suits my face anyway. But these Lenovo Lecoos are surprisingly good, right? They're really surprisingly good and they're significantly cheaper. These Lenovo Lecoos have a little bit more functionality than the Razers, surprisingly, because if I tap and hold, the volume reduces. If I tap, the volume increases. And then there's also a hardware button at the side. If I double tap, it calls out my assistant. Alright, so there's a little bit more, surprisingly, that I can do in terms of using hand gestures for the Lenovo Lecoo versus the Razer Anzus. Now, the audio quality for the Razer Anzus is definitely much better than the Lenovo Lecoos, but it isn't 10 times better, right? It isn't even 5 times better, right? So it's surprising that the Lenovo glasses produce reasonably good audio. Recently, I've been doing quite a bit of research into air conducting earphones, such as these by a brand called Habit, and then you've got the Razer options like this. And this is one of the better ones, this one that we're looking at, the XF28. And these are the XF38s. I got these for $13 US. Maybe that's why America wants to put a tariff on China, because the prices are really good for technology. It makes it difficult for companies in the US to remain as competitive as they used to be. Even though they used to make a lot of their products in China, now there's a lot of direct from China to consumer sales, which then cuts off the middle person, and then branding becomes less valued in that sense. So these are, really good. But the volume coming out of smart audio glasses is actually significantly louder than what you're going to be able to get from these headphones. You can try them out yourself. So initially when I was looking into it, I was thinking maybe I don't need to get the glasses, I'll just get these headphones. I mean, what's the difference? It's just Bluetooth speakers built into glasses. That's very, very true. But if you're talking about air conduction technology, somehow spectacles like this give you a little bit more room for larger drivers, and so the audio is actually significantly louder. Now, battery life for both these glasses is great. Both these glasses will give me all-day battery. The audio is gonna bleed, but I think it's more of a visual. All air conduction earphones and headphones will bleed, such as these. Bone conduction, probably not. And the Razer air conduction headphones. These I got for $22 US. Alright, so it's everything here that I bought is less than half the price of a pair of Apple AirPod earphones. Let's just put that into perspective. So I did put prescription lenses on these two glasses. These are my far-sighted lenses. That's why most of this video I'm wearing these glasses instead, because these are prescription reading glasses and these are prescription far-sight glasses. So I can switch between the two and charge one while I'm wearing the other one. I wouldn't pay $120 or $200 retail for the Razer Anzus. At $50 US, I think this is priced just right. It's been around for a while, it's considered discontinued, but these glasses will work with or without the Anzu app. I feel that the Razer Anzu glasses are quite likely to last a little bit longer than the Lenovo Lecoos, because I'm not so confident about the quality of the hardware button and how long it's going to last. The other thing to take note of is that the Lenovo Lecoo glasses, I guess they've been around for some time, or for some reason they're using micro USB for charging. But micro USB is still quite a common cable to have. The Razer Anzu uses a proprietary charging cable, so that's a little bit unfortunate. It does come with a nice fancy case like this. You know, you're not going to be able to find these interesting cables in your existing inventory. But that said, thank goodness for businesses that are operating out of Shenzhen. You can get yourself a pair of spare cables. I've already ordered a pair of spare cables for about $10 US, maybe $9.50. That's what I paid for anyway, so it's on the way. The last thing I wanted to mention is that if you're getting these glasses, the likelihood is you should also order or get from your local optician nose bridge stickers like this. These are nose bridge stickers. So I've got nose bridge stickers on the Lenovo Lecoos as well as the Razer Anzus. Absolutely essential because these glasses don't come with a nose bridge that is, I guess they were trying to make it so that it fits most faces, but then it falls down and droops a little bit too low in both cases. But with the stick-on adhesive nose bridge, it's a lot more usable and it raises the glasses a lot higher up and you look more fresh and smart looking. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.